So the projects are greatly impacted by the kind of environment that we do the projects in. So basically, the companies in which we work, the enterprises that we work in, these are these exist within overall ecosystem, overall environment. There is an internal environment of the organization where we do the projects, and there is an external environment where the enterprise exists. By internal, I mean the structure of the organization, the vision, mission, the values, the skill set which exists within the organization. And by external, I mean the marketplace condition, the regulatory requirements, the compliance requirements, the competition that we are in, the suppliers, contractors that we have, any government regulation, industry regulation, so on. So all of these factors have great impact on the success or failure of our projects. Let's talk about collectively. We call these as enterprise environmental factors, and it is the acronym for it is EEFs. And you will be hearing a lot during our PMP exam preparation that two factors are extremely important. One is enterprise environmental factors, EEF, and the other is organizational process assets. So I'll go to organizational process asset a little bit later, but first I wanted to touch the the enterprise environmental factors. Broadly speaking, these are of two types, internal and external. And as I mentioned, internal are those vision, mission, culture, structure of the organization, the skill set, the people, the resources that we have, the work-life balance, whatever we have internal environment within our organization, that is the internal, and external, what I mean is the industry that we operate, the competition we have, the external suppliers, contractors, government bodies, any compliance authorities. So all of these factors will limit our choices. We may be bounded between these dynamics. If marketplace, if there is political unrest, that could also impact externally to the activities of the project, and ultimately we may get hit in the scope of work, or we may get some hit within the schedule or budget. Because of political unrest, there could be resource shortage. And then when resource shortage is there, then ultimately the cost of the resources which exist in the market will go high. And then you will be getting hit in your budget of the project. So these are the internal or external enterprise environmental factors. Other influences which have great influence on the project, like from outside to the project, is the the policies, procedures that exist within the organization. So every organization has their own process repository. So they do not reinvent the wheel. They follow some existing processes, policies, hiring policies, firing policies. When it comes to procedures like standard operating procedures, like how we operate, which standards we follow. Even the project management methodology that we are just now talking about is the PMI methodology. So they may have adopted this methodology, and then this is part of their internal processes. So that is the internal process repository of the organization, policies and procedures. And then we have a corporate knowledge base, which means that any similar project or different project done in the past, we should have some project files. We have archived estimates. We have the lessons learned registers, risk registers, issue logs, change log. Everything related to previous projects that we have done in the past should be existing in the knowledge base, because knowledge is what that is something which people have, which work in the organization. They work for long in the organization, and they have this tacit knowledge with them, which is not documented knowledge. So what we do, we ensure that we document this tacit knowledge that people hold with them, and then we do it by multiple ways. We can have knowledge management system. We can incorporate SharePoint repositories, so that people know that whatever that knowledge is not a monopoly of a single person. It should be actually cascaded down. So we will find number of ways that it should be actually documented, and it should be transferred from the experienced resources, and it should be transferred to the junior resources, so that once senior resources leave the organization, we should not have a knowledge gap. All right. So if you guys have any question on the influences that will internally or externally impact you, or the internal organizational process assets, then you may ask. If no, then we can move on. So just like EEF, we also have certain other industry acronyms such as PESTEL, TCOP, VUCA. These are primarily related to defining some external business environment. So PESTEL means like political, economic, socio-cultural, technical, and legal environment. So wherever we do the projects, these projects exist within some political environment, like the company is within a country, and country is surrounded by political situations, like always. So whenever the political situation will change, we may have strict sanctions on the product coming in the country, going outside the country, the dealings. So all the economic activity gets impacted. Because of some instability, security as well, we will see that certain activities which are outdoor activities which might not be possible because of the political unrest or sit-ins or traffic jams or whatever situation that we find ourselves in. Similarly, is the economic condition and any other socio-cultural environment where we operate. We need to consider those factors which will limit our choices. And we may also end up facing some technical challenges, which are the risks that every project has, and then there should be some workarounds. And this is what we need to brainstorm continuously, that how we can deal with these technical challenges as well. Apart from that, we may have some legal limitations because of the legislation of the country. We may have certain kind of goods, products, material, equipment, resources. We need to comply with the legal laws of the land. We may not be in a position to hire or certain deal with certain companies or deal with certain nationalities. Could be because in the country which we operate, we are bound by those laws. And this also pertains to the data, that we deal with data, and data, there are a lot of legislations around the data leaving the organizations, leaving the country in which we operate. So similar to PESTEL is the TCOP, almost similar: technical, environmental, commercial, operational, political. And then VUCA is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So we can classify any external environmental factor in terms of how complex, how ambiguous, how volatile it is. And in addition to it, what we need to look at is our own comparative analysis, internal strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat analysis. Also our own economic, our own financial strength, especially if we are, if it is financially feasible for us to do such kind of projects. These things also should be considered, because feasibility is not only technical feasibility. Like technically it is possible, it's about our capability to deliver such kind of massive project also. So we also need to do some feasibility studies, that can we do it all on our own, or do we need any external help from partners, suppliers, contractors. So we need to find out this feasibility. And mostly the risks that emerge in the project are from the assumptions that we make early on in the process, and then these turn out to be not true. So do not assume, ask, clarify, make your assumption log, but validate your assumptions time to time. Secondly, we also need to look into what has happened in the past, the historical projects, the files. It's important, because why we should do the similar mistakes which already people have done in other projects. So we need to learn ahead of time with the information which is available, so that we should do maybe new type of mistakes, but we should not do the old mistakes that people have done while estimating for their projects, while managing their projects, dealing with the resources, suppliers, contractors, outsourcing partners. We might have learned some lessons. So those lessons are worth early on. Those should be visited early on, so that we should also ahead of time aware of who we need to deal for supplies of the goods, materials, which we have history of those suppliers. So some suppliers might be providing resources quickly, and some suppliers might be delaying always. So better to learn from this history and deal with the correct suppliers. Now, and this is what mostly you are preparing yourself to deal with the risks. So if you are making informed choices, then it means that you are better prepared while dealing with the risks. So any questions if you have on this particular slide about the external factors which you might be limited with, you may ask now.
Can you explain a little bit, elaborate a little bit more as WOT, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats?
All right. So now strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats we can discuss relatively in the external of the organization. Like as an organization, what is our strength? It could be our brand name. That could be our strength. It could be at the same time, it could be weakness as well, because we might be a new player in the market. So similarly, our positioning might be like a industry leader. So it could be our strength, it could be weakness, that we are a newcomer or we are industry leader in this market. So that gives us some point of some strength, that we are pioneers. We have started 30 years ago, like that. That is our strength, that we are in the market, and our footprint is there. And then similarly, our employees, our internal skill set that we have in the organization could become our weakness, and it could become our strength as well. So we need to do this SWOT analysis, that what are our strengths and weaknesses when it comes to how market judges us, or how we are perceived in the market, or similarly externally, what are the opportunities available to us. So do we have suppliers or contractors or other partners that would love to work with us because we are always timely paying the invoices and we are well off financially. This is our strength that we pay to our suppliers. So that's an opportunity for us that people are willing to do business with us because we are a big brand. Okay. So similarly, if we see that externally we are weak, and then there could be some threats in the market also that those risks can be either opportunities or threats. So we may be preparing to capitalize on the opportunities, to look for the opportunities to enhance their probability and look to capitalize those opportunities, or we need to prepare ourselves as mitigations to the threats that we foresee in the market. Gigi.
Hi, good morning.
Morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Would you elaborate in your own 2 cents on SWOT analysis, Gigi?
Well, for the SWOT analysis, it could be the strength of the company in terms of the products that they're offering, their as you said, position in the market. Are they the dominant players, or the brand structure, or maybe they don't have an organized way of working or systematic way of working. Opportunities, well, this could be the new market that they haven't explored yet, and the additional revenue that they can generate from their current business. Threats, these are, I think, the competitors. If they don't play well in the market, if they don't execute whatever is required, or like projects that can help them maintain their status in the business, then competitors can take over their market. So those are what I see as what strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats.
Got you. Now, one thing I want to add here is that SWOT analysis is not always external to the organization. So if you look, it can be internal or it can be external. So we might be strong internally, or we might be weak internally. We might have opportunities outside the organization, or threats outside the organization, or we might have opportunities and threats within the organization. So just we cannot term it that it's only external factor. We need to do SWOT analysis on all internal as well as external, in the internal as well as external environment. Yeah. Now we are talking about how internal or external environment impacts our projects, but keep in mind I think the projects also have an impact on internal and external environment. So it's reciprocal. So we are limited by some internal external factors, but in the end, through the projects, we also impact and give back to the organization which we work. Like we enhance the capability of the internal resources, and we do add some value to the external environment as the result of the products that we make and introduce in the economic circle. So this is also two-way traffic. It's not only that we will be always impacted by the internal and external factors, but it will be that we also will have an impact through these projects. We will also add to the organization internally as well as to the external environment. Well, now we talked about external factors a lot. Now internally, the one factor that we discussed earlier was how the organization is structured. So we talked about that it greatly impacts that if a project manager is empowered and the project manager has the resources and the budget in his own hand, then we can imagine that the project management maturity will be better in the organization, and we can expect that with the power, project manager will be able to lead the project successfully because he owns the resources and he owns the budget. Now, organizational changes, if they change the structure from, let's say, a pure projectized structure to a bit of a matrix structure, or matrix structure to more of a functional structure, and they take back the authority given to PM and then give it to the department manager, then all these internal structuring or restructuring can greatly impact the power available to the project manager as well as ultimately the objectives of the project. Yeah. So any change will impact your decision-making power of the PM, or it will impact how we manage the projects. So with all these restructurings, what happened that it impacts the priorities first of all, and then when organization becomes reprioritization happen, it impacts the objectives and the scopes of the projects. And when scopes of the projects align with the changing direction of the organization, then so as the resources working on the projects have to align as well, which is not bad. but too much of restructuring will actually be a waste as well, because it will impact what that has. So any internal business change might cause the need for new scope of work added into the existing projects, or this reprioritization of the projects will also have an impact on the existing deliverables, because we might not be able to finish the deliverables in progress and deliver the value to the organization which we are about to deliver, because the resources have been moved because of the reprioritization to the other projects. So we may have a hold on certain key deliveries. Is this point clear as well? All right. So just to give you as a summary, we talked about two things: enterprise environmental factors and the organizational process assets. And we said EEFs are two types, internal and external. And I talked about internal as our internal skill set, our internal resources, our internal vision, mission, and values. And external is the marketplace condition, the laws, regulations in which the enterprise operate, as well as some political conditions. Now, OPAs, which is the organizational process assets, are of two types as well: our policies, procedures, and processes. And then we have the organizational knowledge base. Processes, procedures about hiring procedures, working with ordering the goods from the internal or external suppliers, our procurement rules, who to deal with, which supplier and contractor to deal with, and our organizational hierarchy which we have to follow. And then the knowledge base includes all the project repositories, like archived documents, our project completion reports from the previous projects, the risk registers, the issue logs, the lessons learned registers, and everything that is available, and also some tools and templates to start with new projects. Like the PMOs in the organization, the project management office, they might also have some ready-made templates to start the project, like project charter template, or for all these registers like risk register, issue register, change log. So we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We can take the templates from the repository and start with our projects. So having those things readily available greatly impact us, expedites the project management as well as the project delivery. These two factors are clear, EF and OPS, and then we can move. Guys, any question? All right. Well, there is a video here, if I am not mistaken, and since we are using the PDF version, so we can't play this video. It's about a project as an example, and we have an activity where we could have identified what are the which of these following could be classified as OPAs and which of the following could be classified as enterprise environmental factors. With the definition that I gave you, are you able to distinguish from A, B, C, D, E, and F which one of the following are enterprise environmental factors and which one of the following are OPAs? Would you like to try, Gigi? So let me help you. So if you remember, I told in the previous slide that enterprise environmental factors are of two types, internal and external. So out of these given factors, like this, economic demand for a new shopping area, it seems like an internal or external factor. What do you think? Can we classify as an external factor, guys? Right? It's an EEF, which is an external factor because it's market demand, right? Market-based condition. Okay. Similarly, what about the second one? Historical society conversation building regulations. So we talked about any regulation, yeah, which we need to compliant of. It's also external factor, right? Similar to the above. Yeah. Local neighborhood demand for a better town center. Again, it goes to external EEF. Archive. So we said that any archive of the previous project's files will go to OPS, right?
OPS.
And in OPS, we have knowledge base. And it will be part of a knowledge base. So this will come to OPS. Yeah. And where we have two parts, one is knowledge base, the other is process, policies, and procedures. So it comes under the knowledge base. Yeah. And then approved vendors and contractors list. This is our SOP. Like we need to follow the procurement list or the preferred sellers, right? So this is our internal process. So we can say it's part of OPA, but it's part of our internal SOP, like standard operating procedure, or we have process, policies, and tools, right? Process, policies, and I think procedures we talked about. And then talent selection process as well. This is our process. So it's same as OPA. Do you agree with me, guys?
Got it.
Okay, all good. Well, so we have covered our first section of this lecture today. So we talked about how we link our projects with our organizational vision and mission earlier, and then some external and internal factors that we discussed, our OPAs that we discussed. We explored how our projects get influenced by the organization or the environment that we operate in, and also how we deliver like results to the organization, like how our projects achieve objectives of the organization, and organizations achieve their objectives, their strategic objectives, or their mission and vision through these vehicles, which are projects, like some small deliveries which pile up to some benefits, and those benefits we deliver back to the organization. Now, talking about benefits and value, this will be our focus for the next section. And the topic is business value, which is different for different organizations. So the academic definition of a business value would be that it is some of the what we call tangible and non-tangible assets of the organization. Like tangible, by which I mean that their financial position, like how much their revenue base is, how much their customer base is, the figures, the financial strength, that we can number it, we can count it. And like intangible would be like our brand value, like our face value in front of customers, like our customer happiness, like our customers, what value customers give to us, our brand, our image. These are the intangible which we cannot measure. So in the end, whatever we do as part of the project will fall under these two categories. Either we are adding some numbers or we are improving our experience. So in the end, through projects, we deliver value to the business. In either ways, either we will deliver it through the numbers, we will increase the bottom line of the organization, or we will improve efficiency, we'll deliver faster, we will be serving our customers in shorter period of time. So this is how we will be improving our experience through delivering the projects. Now, similar to what I just said, that it is of two types, we need to examine what is value to the organization we work with. So they might be into the product industry, or they might be into the service industry. So if we are in the service industry, more or less we are we are going to do projects which will ultimately reduce the waiting time, or it will improve the customer experience. But if we are into product industry, then definitely we would be more focusing on increasing the features in the existing products, so that it attracts more and more customers, and we retain more and more customers through enhancing our products. But in the end, if we are just delivering service through service also, in the end, we are increasing the bottom line of the business also. So we may have a project to introduce a new type of service, which ultimately will increase the customer base, and ultimately will add up into the revenue for the organization. So the business aspect of service industry also is there, and more we are getting into the service industries as of now. If you look around the businesses, these are built around the services only, right, Gigi?
Yes, absolutely.
Goods as well, but more we see that businesses are built around the services. So yeah, as I said a bit before, that business value is of two types. We can talk about financial gain, new customers, consider these two metrics as some figures, benefits, like we can count new customer base or old customer base or total customer base. So we can say it's a tangible, financial gain is a tangible. Then we look around, first to market is also give us some bragging right that we are older. And this give us some confidence that our marketing department is working, like, and our product department is working, that we are introducing products which are first to market, and no one has introduced these kind of products before, and we have edge with our competitors. And we might be working towards projects which ultimately improve our internal processes, like the way we serve our customers. At the back end, we have some processes which are intact, like customer places the order, and this order moves from one department to other department, from sales to engineering to service delivery, and then ultimately we go and fix, maybe install a new internet device within some customer home, or we may deliver pizza to the customer home. It all depends. But our internal processes, in the end, we are improving. We may have a project that improves our internal process, that we make our raw material easily accessible. We are efficient in fixing any problem that we may have in the operations. So all these enhancements that we can do to improve our service delivery would be our improvements. And then we may have projects solely because regulator is asking, like we have to comply. We have to have a system, like if we are a bank, we have to have an anti-money laundering system, because we need to stop money laundering. And this is a regulatory system. So any transaction which is happening, it should be passed through the money laundering system or fraud management system. So all of these systems should be in place because we have a regulator which is regularizing the way we operate, the products we sell. Are we allowed to sell those products? Are we allowed by the regulator to offer these kind of prices? So the regulator aim is in the market to have a healthy competition. So they don't allow certain prices to go all the way down or all the way up. So regulator aim is always that they need to keep that check and balance. So just if you look at these six things, you think about the projects are happening because of these reasons. Either we need to do some beach cleanup exercise, and that beach cleanup exercise will have ultimately a social benefit. That we went as a project, we did a event in which we cleaned the beach with the help of local people. However, in the end, who is benefiting? Again, the society. So we may have projects to, let's say, protect the ozone layer. So this is a transformational project, like we need to cut down the carbon emission, we need to cut down our oil usage, burning of fuel, or so in the end, ultimately, this will have an impact on the ozone layer, and we will protect it because it will protect us from the rays at harmful rays of the sun. So organization do projects because they want to either gain financially, add to the customers, new customer to their customer base, or deliver benefits to the society, like constructing schools, increasing the education rate, or they want to first to be in the market, like they want to introduce new products, or there are technological advancements like 2G, 3G, 5G, 6G. Now we are in the era of 5G, and then talks are that we need to deliver 6G by the 2030. So 6 years down the road, you will see that sixth generation of mobile phone technology will be launched as well. So these are the enhancements which people and organizations and companies and governments are working. And all of these are results of what projects that we do. And then regularization, that regulator is regularizing the industry and imposing certain regulations because of which we need to buy new systems. I hope this slide is clear, guys.
Yes, got it, 100%.
Yeah, it's good. Thank you.
Good. All right. So bit of the insights that I gave in the previous slide is actually the business aspect of everything. And the more we come into the management, guys, like with the 10 years of experience that we have, we should be able to understand the bottom line, the business, how company sells the product, how company makes business, how company delivers value. So more of our role will become of selling, okay, selling our ideas, selling the understanding what product kind of products company sell to the customers and how we can enhance, increase the sales. Or so I'm trying to bring you guys focus or attention into the business part of it. And although project managers are not supposed to gather the business requirements, but it might be that you need to wear a hat of a business analyst as well, because the team is very small. So project manager will wear various hats, and he might become a business analyst in the beginning because there is no one else in the team who has to gather the requirements now. Project has started, project charter is there. I am authorized project manager, but the organization has not hired anyone who will collect the business requirements. Now this is one aspect, but ahead, before even the project manager is hired, there is money in the hand of the organization, and then they are thinking which projects that they need to fund, like cost benefit analysis. So the organization top management is always looking for a number of ways they can increase the revenue base and they can introduce new products. So someone has to do the business analysis, and someone has to do the cost benefit analysis of a new idea which is proposed. For example, we want to introduce as a product department, we want to introduce a new product, but someone has to do the business case, someone has to write the cost benefit analysis and do some financial calculation that what this project will deliver. Like if we invest X amount of money, can we generate 2X amount of money? Can we sell it for 4X amount of money, right? So much before a project happens, a business case is written. So without a business case, you will not have any project. Even the business case is a living document. It should be always valid throughout the project. The moment the business case the project lost its business case, the project should be immediately stopped, because there is no point of going forward with this kind of project which lost its business case. So business case is first thing, guys, which might have been done prior to you being hired as a project manager. Got it? So if you are hired as a project manager, go and look for the business case and ask, I need the business case, I need the business case document from the sponsor. And then from there, you will gather the insights of the project that, okay, they are doing this project for compliance requirement because regulator told them to do. That's the justification given in the business case that we have to do, we have no choice because this is a regulatory compliance project. Or remember our 5 other reasons like financial gain. Maybe there is a benefit, we will be able to increase our customer base through this project or whatever. So the business case should be the first document you should consult as a project manager if you are hired in an environment as a project manager. Clear, guys? So what does go inside? what does go inside that business case? One thing I talked multiple times is the cost benefit analysis. Apart from that, it also includes some initial assumptions, risks, dependencies, constraints. How does success looks like? How we will measure the success? And what will be our implementation approach? Like, are we going to do it internal with the internal resources, or we are going to get it done by external resources? Whatever. So initial, what you call niche, or what you call the base of the project charter is already there within the business analysis document. So once project manager will start writing the project charter or collecting the data for project charter, they must consult the business case document because it will provide them some grounding, some work that has already been done, so they can leverage on that and develop their project charter based on the information available in the business case. And it has the goals, justification of the project, and key assumptions, constraints, all what we need to develop charter. So apart from the business case document, one more document which we will be also talking about is the benefits management plan. So as I said, business case is it includes cost benefit analysis, the need of the project, the key assumptions and constraints. Apart from that, we will also be having in place the benefit management plan or the roadmap. So it means that the project will ultimately deliver some benefits for the organization, but what is the plan for these benefits, when we will be getting these benefits during the project execution, or after completion of the project immediately, or there is a roadmap like 6 months down the road, 5 months down the road, 1 year down the road, 5 year down the road, yearly. What is the benefit? Let's say take an example of a new bullet train, for example. Some company, some country introduced a bullet train, let's say, for their people. So the moment it is launched, definitely it might not attract the people all the way that they will switch to this mode of transportation from the previous mode of transportation. But we may see with the gradual time, a year down the road or 2 years down the road, more and more people are opting for the bullet train because they need to reach faster, they are willing to pay more. So it depends. So the benefit management plan will include some time frame, short or long, for the benefit realization of this project, and some metrics that with the yearly we see an inflow of 10,000 or 100,000 more passengers traveling through, let's say, the bullet train than the regular train. So those matrices we need to define as well. And this data ultimately will be used, these matrices will be used by the PMO of the organization. Remember, the program manager or the PMO of the organization, because the project manager role will finish once he has delivered the project on time, on cost, within the quality constraints. But there will be a person in the organization or the department which will ensure that benefits are delivered, like the promises made through the business case are actually delivering. Got it, guys? So business case is about promises, but benefit management plan is about measurement and realizing it, if it is true the promises made are actually delivering, are delivered. So this is very interesting statement that this is a business document and it's not part of the project management plan. So in future, when we'll talk about many plans, we'll talk about scope management plan, quality management plan, schedule management plan, so as cost management plan, but we will term all those plans as part of the bigger umbrella, which is project management plan. But benefits management plan is not part of the project management plan. It is a business document, just like the business case that is not part of project management. It's done as part of the business analysis. And how we do the business analysis, there are multiple methods. So one of those methods I gave the reference to is the cost benefit analysis. From the prospect of PMP exam, you just need to remember some rule of thumb, like cost benefit analysis. If a project has more costs than the benefits, definitely point of pursuing the project, right? So similarly, there are other matrices that we need to follow as well, like payback period. So if a project has a payback period of 5 years and another project has a payback period of 2 years, so whichever is the smallest project organization will be, whichever is the smallest period, that project organization will be funding. Like if you have a house that will cost you 1 million to build, and then if you rent it, and then you can recover your money within 5 years, and on the other side, if you have another house which you built it for the same amount, 1 million, but if you rent it, you can recover the money in 2 years because the rental is higher. So definitely the project B is the one on which organization will invest the money. So smaller the payback period is, the priority will be given to that project. So since we are talking about from the investment portfolio point of view, so we are saying that organization will decide the project which is having the smaller payback period apart when the choice comes between the two projects to fund. Similarly, there are other matrices like opportunity cost, net present value, which has a concept of time value of money. Like a dollar in hand has more value than dollar coming to your hand after 2 months or a month. So it means that what is the present value of project A and what is the present value of project B? So if the present value is higher for project A and lesser for project B, then we should be funding on the project which has the present value higher. So present value, future value, net present value, internal rate of return, return on investment. Always a bigger number you need to choose. Like two projects given to you with a present value, future value, net present value, internal rate of return or return on investment of X amount, and then there is a project with the 2X amount. So you will be choosing the project with the 2X amount. Similarly, in the exam also you need to follow this rule of thumb that out of those two options given to you, that which project organization will be funding, whichever project has a higher present value, higher future value, higher net present value, higher internal rate of return, or higher return on investment, organization will choose that project. But when it comes to payback period and opportunity cost, it will always be the smaller one. So what is the opportunity cost? Opportunity cost is that you have two opportunities that you can take. Now you have to take each other at the cost of the other. So like it's just like you have two job offers. So you have to, ultimately you can choose only one, right? So you have to lose one, or at the cost of that, you need to choose the second one. So the money that you lose, that you could not benefit because you choose the other opportunity, is your opportunity cost, like the lost opportunity, like the lost opportunity that you lose at its cost, you got the other opportunity. So that's the opportunity cost. Similarly, in terms of the organizations, if they have to fund two projects and these two projects have some benefits, so if they decided to choose one of these, they have actually lost the benefits that they could attain from the other one that they didn't choose. I hope these matrices are clear for you. Any question? No. So all of these methods actually are called project selection methods because we are selecting between various projects, right? So we are utilizing future value, interest rate, or payback period, net present value. Based on these, we are deciding either we choose project A or B. So these are called project selection methods. And all these are the nitty and gritty. You don't need to know the nitty and gritty, but you need to know, as I told you, if it comes to opportunity cost and if it comes to payback period, you need to choose between two projects which has a smaller payback period and smaller opportunity cost. And if you need to choose between the present value, future value, and internal rate of return, you need to choose the project which has the bigger present value, bigger net present value, or bigger internal rate of return. So yeah. So here the concept that is mentioned is, just remember that time there is value associated with the money, which is the time value of money, that if you can get the money earlier, it is better. Because if you will keep this money in the bank early, then you can get some interest. So that's the concept here. Like if the project will give you money 5 years down the road and another project can gives you money in 2 years, so earlier that you can make money is better. All right. So we also talked about some organizational, what we call as KPIs or OKRs, whichever term we use. And this is a way to describe our benefits. Projects have deliverables. So you will say, okay, construct a 30-story building. It might include 10 flats on each of floor. That's a bit of a deliverable. But what I will get as a result of this building is I need to define that it will house 300 people maybe, and maybe not like this, but I can term it like how much I will get out of this building, right? So I need to give some figures. So benefits are not related to individual project deliverables. I gave another example other day that your benefit could be defined as you need to increase the literacy rate among the children in certain province from, let's say, 50% to 70%. So that is the benefit that you can define, that within the period of 2 years or 5 years, we need to raise the literacy rate from 50% to 70%. So which means that each year we have some target to achieve. This is how we define the key objectives for each organization also. Like maybe organization want to improve their EBITDA margin, or they want to improve their, they want to reduce the waiting time or the time to hire employees, whatever, from 1% to other percentage. So we can define our target that we want to, this is right now, the state, and then in future we want to serve our customers within 30 minutes. Maybe we are serving our customers now in 45 minutes. So we can translate it into like, we need to improve our service delivery by 50% faster. That could be one key objective. All right. You want break? 5 minutes break?
Sure.
All right, guys. See you after 6 minutes.
Okay.